In the Dark. Written by Connor Cooper. Part 8. Throne Room. Chaos magic. Please don't ever lose me again. Discord laughed while floating midair within the throne room, which was currently being put back together by the Solar Princess herself. Stretching his back mid-flight, Discord then turned down at Salem, who was holding Grogar's bell that had the magic of the old goat returned to it, after the Chimera found out how it worked. Well, more or less. Salem, my dear boy, I can't thank you enough for returning my sweet chaos magic back. You don't know how much you miss something when it's taken away, the Chaos God said to the dark-armored being, who was still inspecting the bell in his hands.
Not a problem, but I have no idea how I got this thing to work.
Before he could inspect the bell even more, Luna gently lifted the cursed item from Salem's hands and into the air in a magical aura.
Still not used to that.
Forgive me, Salem, but this accursed bell needs to be put somewhere safe until we can find a safe way to dispose of it.
Luna spoke while Salem watched her slowly bring it over to a box held up by two guards.
Let me guess, an undisclosed safe location.
Salem joked, to which the Night Princess looked at him confused.
Pardon?
A place where no one can find it but you?
Salem asked, to which Luna nodded.
Correct, but my sister also knows where it is.
No one else.
Also correct.
Noted.
Salem turned to the door with the newly depowered trio being carted away in similar restraints that Sombra had when the newly turned queen was beaten by him.
Princess, may I ask something?
What is it, Salem?
Luna responded with a small smile.
I know the girl did some screwed up stuff, but is the chains and muzzle really necessary? She's just a kid. Is a muzzle really needed?
Salem asked, pointing his thumb at the cart that Cozy Glow had been taken away, to which Luna gave a sad sigh.
Salem, I understand what you are saying, but that Billy has done a lot in that silver tongue of hers, and none of it is good.
Luna leaned down slightly to get within eye level of the Terran.
Know this, my friend. It doesn't make me happy seeing a young pony given the same treatment as her companions, but her words are dangerous.
Come on, it's just a...
Salem stopped himself, not allowing him to finish that argument. A few documents he possessed told him of the results of such mind sense.
Never mind.
Raising a brow at this comment, Salem lowered his head at the cold logic in the back of his mind that he couldn't ignore.
Something the matter?
Shaking his head, Salem looked back at Luna.
No, Princess, it's nothing. Anything else I can help with?
Salem asked, to which Luna's smile returned.
Well, unless you can help resow trust among the entire kingdom, then I don't think there's anything else you can help us with.
Luna answered, trying her best to remain optimistic.
Sorry, Princess. I have many skills, but none of them are public speeches or anything that I can help.
Salem answered.
Apologies.
There is nothing you need to be sorry for, Salem. You saved Equestria from 2 different threats within the span of 2 days. If anything, I should be apologizing to you for your first week in Equestria so... unpleasantly eventful.
The no words caused Salem to lightly laugh while nodding a little bit.
Well, with my luck tomorrow, we will have some giant kaiju I'll have to fight.
Salem joked, causing Luna to tilt her head confused by what he meant. Noticing this, he put his hands on his hip before answering.
Right. It's a term for giant monster, more of a movie trope.
Speaking of movies, do you by chance have a way to play such a film?
Luna asked.
I have always been so curious about your world and the many forms of entertainment. I would like to experience what it's like firsthand.
Do I have any movies? What kind of question is that, Princess? I have copies of many different records from Earth, from books, history, and of course entertainment media.
Salem answered before holding his armored chin.
Although I did think about doing something like Trazen had going on.
Who?
Nothing, Luna. Just thinking out loud for a moment. But I will be willing to play you a movie if you wish.
Salem replied, causing the princess's smile to widen slightly.
That's wonderful. I'm very curious about the one series known as Star Wars. You have that movie in your records?
Luna questioned.
I have every film ever made, but if you're going to watch it, it was going to do it correctly.
What do you mean by that?
Trust me, you'll understand when you see it.
Luna nodded before grabbing the box from the guards.
And I will hold you to that, Salem. But until then, I have to put this bell in that undisclosed safe location I was talking about.
Luna told Salem while she gave her a thumbs up.
I'll have the projector ready by then.
In a poof, Luna was gone before Salem causing the Chimera to move his hand where she was moments ago.
Right. Teleportation. That's pretty awesome.
Milo slightly elbowed his shoulder, causing Salem to hold up his hands to talk with her. Come on, you gotta admit that's cool.
And mine isn't?
Well, you don't really teleport. Noticing the look she was giving him, Salem once again stopped himself. Let's go check in with Titus. Salem's room.
You were attacked by warp-powered psychers. Inquisitor, forgive me for questioning your actions, but why didn't you bring me with you?
Not turning to look at the miniature, Salem continued to work on the part in front of him before scratching the bridge of his muzzle. Titus, they weren't warp-powered psychers, just very powerful threats that used abilities that can be called magic. Besides, I dealt with it.
And what if you couldn't?
Milo has my back. You know that.
And if Lady Milo was harmed?
Salem stopped cleaning the tube in his hands before looking at the small sentient object next to him, not saying a word.
Inquisitor Salem, I can't remain like this forever. I wish to be able to move like the Astartes I once was and fight alongside you in these battles. We are the last of humanity, Inquisitor. Allow me to help you.
Titus requested. Titus, we don't know if it'll work correctly.
That is a risk I am willing to take, Inquisitor.
And what if my theory is wrong, Titus? 137 has never been used on someone like you before. It could do many different things we don't know of yet. It could turn you into a more suitable form, but whatever your personality and your memories, you could attack me on sight, or worse. That is a risk I don't want to happen to one of my friends. Titus sat silently for a moment before speaking.
You see me as a friend, Inquisitor.
I do. Back to the silence for a moment, the auto speaker under Titus then spoke up once again.
Inquisitor, when Sergeant and his colleagues disappeared, I feared that once again I was alone in the darkness. Even a son of Gilliman like myself can only remain without outside contact for so long. I almost lost hope, thinking that I was alone, and humanity was all but extinct, and I had failed my duty as an Ultramarine to defend the human race until my dying breath. Thinking all was lost until you found me, Inquisitor.
Titus spoke. The voice behind the speaker held a ton of what sounded like sadness for a moment, but was quickly banished when the model began to speak once again.
Then, I know if humanity would survive, it would be through our group. Even if we are all that's left, we can only serve as the memory of what was once humanity.
Titus.
Inquisitor, think of my request. That is all I ask of you.
I'll think about it, Lieutenant. Salem said with a smile, while falling into the whole Inquisitor role that Titus saw him as.
Thank you, Salem.
Nodding, the Chimera put down his cleaning tool before picking up the frame before him and placing the tube down through the slot in the metal plastic frame. The tube in reality was a barrel for the weapon Salem had assembled. After his encounter with Sombra and the terrible trio, he thought it best to have a non-energy based weapon on his person. Pulling back the operating handle and dry chambering the weapon, Salem pointed the shotgun in front of him and adjusted the holographic sight.
It's no bolter, but it's a fine weapon to deliver the Emperor's justice.
Setting down the shotgun, giving a nod with a very happy look on his face. Damn right. Can't wait to use this thing. Below Canterlot. Sombra narrowed her eyes at the tunnels below Canterlot while scoffing at the smell of sewage that lingered in the air. For a kingdom that was older than her Crystal Empire, their waste system was very dangerous. Even when she was a king, it was wise to make sure the waste of the citizens of her empire needed to be disposed of correctly, or it could bat her back in the ass. Holding a hand to her nose, Sombra looked up at the endless caverns before smiling. Perhaps she can use the methane down here in the tunnels to bring down the house, as it were, and in the process snatch up Salem for payback in the coming chaos. When Equestria was slowly rebuilding, she could take over the Crystal Empire. With the secrets of her new enforcer carried, she could take over Canterlot with an army that Equus had never seen before. A dark smile came to her face at the idea that she was hatching in her mind. But then her mind began to wonder how funny it was going to be when she had some time to repay Salem for what he did to her. The thought of his sweet, pain-filled screams made her smile widen. Summoning a dark crystal weapon, she slammed against the cave work. The plant of torture would have to wait for now. She had some work ahead of her. There we go. A short one today, again, but good news, expect TCP week either this one or the next week before or after this. I haven't decided yet. If the next upload is TCP, expect a full week of that. I'll try to at least get a video every other day. You will at least get 6 or 7 TCP videos in a row before I start going back to the normal process. That is said, however, I would like to thank my wonderful Patreons. Thank you my tier 1 Patreon Squall, Windfeather, Rainflicker, Starlight Blaze, Stu Hex, and Dreamless Portal. My tier 2 Patreons Chase Lemaster, Sword Brother and Mordred, Nocturne, Solus, RD Bryant, Captain Blueshadow, HKH4 aka Texture, and the Animated Ghost. And of course a large thank you to Silent Titan. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Firehearth. Have a wonderful day.